Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Yeah, well, here I am doing a not voiceover video. It's time for a flip through. This is Rebecca. Rebecca has her name now. She's our big colourful journal that we've been working on. As you can see, she's got very chunky. She's got 5 signatures. And way too much ephemera, as per usual. I don't know why I do this to my journals. It's just mean, really. But yeah, this is her. This is her back cover. Just all that very bright, cheerful material that I've made up. Bit of gold trim and this sort of nice suede or faux suede. She has a spine dangle, it's just held on with a clip, so you can remove that if you desire. So I put one of my flowers on here. This one is just held together with a button. But yeah, just a little spine dangle. And she has a piece of interesting sort of trim on down her spine. So yeah, she's a gorgeous girl. There is her front cover. And there is her, sorry, I'm knocking the camera up. There is her big fat alligator mouth with all her bits and pieces showing. So let's try and get Rebecca into the frame. Make sure we can see everything. Like I say, the dangle does come off nice and simply. So. Right, you have seen a lot of this as I've been making it, so I'm not sure that you'll come across too many new things. Let me just find something to prop this up on a bit so that it's not sort of causing us issues. Don't know if you can hear that squealing sound. You probably can because this microphone picks up everything. That's my little dog downstairs playing with a squeaky toy. So yeah, forgive him. Anyway, here we have her. She has an inside front cover that is the same suede as the spine. She just has this little notepad in the front, or big notepad. A couple of coffee dyed recipe pages. And a big journal card popped in there. I won't show you every single thing that's in every single pocket because you've pretty much seen all the things go into this. There is a few bits and pieces, but yeah, it's always nice to leave a bit of something for the person who ends up owning Rebecca to find. We just have a little paper cluster here on the corner of this sort of Franken page. This is my brown paper bags with pianola roll over the top. There's a few pieces of ephemera tucked in here. This came out of a book that I was recently going through. It's a church cleaning roster, so I don't even know how that's been typed. It looks, I think it's been typed with what's that transfer paper stuff, carbon paper. This looks like carbon paper, I don't know. Interesting anyway. A wax seal here in the blue. Here's one of my little pockets made out of the stamp outs from the lovely Bonnie. Just a couple of bits of ephemera tucked in there. This is a big envelope that, as you know, is full of old book page and yeah, either antique or vintage or both. Here's a pocket made out of a reproduction of a postcard that I own. It has in it a journal card, and there is a journal card and a couple of pieces of printed ephemera in the pocket behind. I have put some extra little pieces of trim here and there that you probably have not seen. So I did it not so long ago. This is that little waterfall of faux postcards, or reproduction of the postcards that I own. Just another pocket with a little journal card in it. A couple of small pages. A couple of sort of Franken pages made out of jelly prints. She's a very full journal. Oops. It's just a paper clip with a bit of a dangle, not really holding in anything. It's one of my book page pockets. A bit of extra journaling space. That's sewn together to make this into a pocket where I have typed a piece of vintage magazine. Here is some of that Christmas carols that I received in that bag that I sorted through the other day. I just held on there with a bit of a paper clip, and that is again another pocket made out of an envelope, book pages. And there's one of the pockets I made the other day on camera, just with a book page or dictionary page. Another piece of interesting trim along the top of this pocket that just holds some more old book pages. Again, the pianola roll and the paper bag. This was just a Franken page, and then I stuck a brochure that just happened to come across my desk from a park in my city called Kings Park. That's the bushwalking guide for there, and hidden under here is a little spot to do a tiny bit of journaling if you wish. There's even contact numbers there if you happen to want to pop into Perth and have a look at Kings Park. That's the people to talk to. Who knows? Another Franken page. Just a little paper clip dangle, just there for no reason other than to be decorative. There's another piece of interesting trim. I get all of these in thrift stores. Who knows what they were for. It's our kooky paper with another pocket. Just the pocket made out of the bottom of a paper bag. Just one of those little notebooks that we made the other day. A punch card made into a tag. It's actually a reproduction punch card that is not an original piece. I have made those by printing them out on coffee dyed file folders, manila folders. So, and there's some printed ephemera behind that. It's a piece of, I think it's blind fabric, I'm not sure. Yeah, I just don't even know where it came from. I think it might have come in a happy mail from Lucy, or it could have come from Bonnie. I'm not sure, but thank you, ladies, because I forget where things come from now. Should have bins here with your names on them. So it's just another envelope pocket, just with some reproduction ephemera inside. It's just one of my book pages where I was making my paper lace and dyeing it. This is just a cute picture, so I just stuck it on this page because it was a cute picture. This page is just torn out of a paper bag with jelly printing over it. There's the other half of that envelope, and that has some vintage book page inside. There's another piece of this in here. This is a sort of calico looking, or muslin if you call it that, sort of looking colour. Yeah, the real spotty stuff with the brown flecks in it. The other piece is white, and I'm not sure if it will show up on camera, but there is music notes in it, which is very kind of cool. So yeah, it's another one of those punch cards. There's some reproduction ephemera behind there. Again, this is one of those pockets made out of the bottom of a paper bag. And there's a couple of journal cards tucked inside. Again, some reproduction ephemera, some vintage book pages, a journal card, and just a strange little fabric ruffle that I found in my stash of stuff. There's lots of threads and strings and wool and dangles and things hanging out of this journal, most of which, you know, could be trimmed off or removed if you do not like them, but yeah, I just like them. So I keep them. Bit of batch dyed packaging paper. I think it's quite thick. It's almost like a paper bag, but I'm pretty sure this was not paper bag. Here's just a simple little pocket made out of a cool picture from a book. Just has a tag and a little journal card inside. These were just two little gift bags that I had, again from somewhere, heaven knows where. I coffee dyed them and popped a couple of, you know, sort of stickers that somebody also gave me. Put a little punch hole in them, folded them over so they were like an envelope, and then stuck them to this music page. So they've got cute little scalloped tops on the other side that you can see. This is a book page. I'll take this thing out from underneath now. This is a book page sort of writing spot. It's just some stacked old book pages together that have some writing space, so it just adds a little bit more writing space to a journal. And then there's 3 pockets behind it. There's one with a journal card and 2 in front of it with other journal cards. So yeah, this is the dust cover of a book. It's a book on maps from Ireland, I think. Anyway, that was kind of cool, so I left that in there. Just another paper cluster stapled onto here. These little bits of writing you see around the place, they're those letter set like rub-on things that Bonnie sent me. These little guys, I'm trying to use them. They were handed down to her by her father, and they're getting to that point where, you know, they're very old. They don't work so well anymore, so I'm just trying to use them up so that they get another life. So you'll see them scattered around places. I like to just rub them on things and see what happens. Here's a random little handwritten note. This was something of my parents, actually. They, I think I've explained before, did a lot of hiking in the UK, and they also travelled around Europe a bit. And this is a lot of their little notes just fell out of one of their travel books, so that was kind of cool. It's just on a piece of card. So, and there's some vintage and antique book page tucked in there as well. Just a piece of dot matrix paper, an old schematic from a house plan. Here's another piece of interesting trim. If you wanted, you could always, these are only stapled on. You could just remove these and use them for something else if you wished. That's just a paper clip and another paper clip. This page has 2 paper clips just for the heck of it. This one has a fabric cluster, and this one has a little few bead doodads and a tiny little tassel that fell off of something. So, and there's a faux postcard in the back of this one. That's another fold out so that you've got some more writing space. That's just attached to the other side of that envelope. And this was a piece of card that I think somebody had pulled off the front of a greeting card or something like that, a thank you card or something. It was just in a bag of stuff that I was gifted. And there's a faux postage, or faux postcard that is like from an ephemera pack. And there is also this printout of a postcard that I own of Princess Mary. So looking very lovely. And a couple of tags in there. This is just a big sort of blackboard looking sticker that I was also gifted. Another part of that, or the other side of that map book cover. Again, one of Bonnie's cutouts where she's been punching squares out of a page. She sends me the weirdest things. This one is now covered in pictures of soil samples. So yeah, it's something a bit different. They're soil samples from Australia. So I wrote numbers next to them and just wrote soil samples. I can't tell you what they are. Didn't think that was too important. This is that craft tape that I've fallen in love with recently. You'll see it pop up here and there. It's really quite nice. There's a belly band on here. It's a double belly band. So there's a belly band here and then there's one underneath. So of this ephemera. There is vintage and antique book pages tucked in there, as well as some reproduction ephemera. And it's just decorated up with a little bit of paper cluster and whatnot. Here's another wee little trim that I came across in my travels. It's just got a little dangle pin to it. And another odd little piece of trim. And this is the back of that belly band. It's just been stapled around the page, so it's just a little tuck there for a bit of something. There's another little paper cluster. More Franken paper. This is the one where I got bold and did some intuitive writing on the back of it, straight into the book. I was so pleased it turned out. Had a heart attack just trying to do that. Here is some atlas that has been backed with the pianola paper and pockets made out of it. Again, some reproduction printed ephemera and some antique book pages and a journal card. It's just a beautiful pattern that I printed out on my printer, and I popped a seal that was the same sort of colour on it. It's a page out of an encyclopedia, sort of bizzo, some sort of sciencey thing. There's a jelly print on a brown paper bag. These are jelly prints on book pages, by the way, if you're wondering what all of these sort of Franken papers are. Yeah, they're old book pages with jelly printing over them. This is a cover from the inside of a book. Here is that other piece of fabric that I was talking about earlier. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see the lines. It's, yeah, music print, but it's white on white, so it's difficult to see, but it is very cool. So, yeah. This was an interesting picture that I just printed out. It's from an old seed packet catalogue. So yeah, shows the production line of the seeds. It's quite interesting. Another Franken page. It's one of these little booklets that we made a while back. Again, one of those postcards that I own, the reproduction of that, an old magazine page that just seemed to go with this, and a little collaged card, journal card. Here is a pocket made with an old zip. It's just a piece of manila folder that has been batch dyed, has a few stamps on it, a bit of map stuck on there, and there's just a couple of little things tucked inside there. Here is a very old envelope that was sent to me by the lovely Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Again, it has one of those postcards that I've printed out, and just a big tag. You can just see the tag through there. It's kind of pretty. Another one of those brown paper and pianola paper pockets. Just a couple of journal cards, and this is one of the pieces of printed ephemera that I crunched up and then ironed some beeswax into. So that's kind of an interesting looking piece. Feels good. Feels old. It's just a piece of a green snippet roll that I have. Some coffee dyed atlas paper. It's just little page embellishment on the side there. A bit more of my intuitive writing. It's another pocket. This one's made with one of those paper snippet rolls that I showed you, the strips. Just has a few bits and pieces inside. This is a roll-off page out of an old sketchbook that somebody gave me. You can feel the paint on this. The paint was getting old and sort of blobby, I guess, and as it's dried you can feel the texture. It feels, you hear it. Probably like nails down a chalkboard, I don't know. Another Franken page there, bit of a paper cluster. Some more of that craft tape that I like. Just some paper collage covering up some words on there so you can use it for writing space. Of course, if you took all the extra things out of her, she would sit relatively flat and be possibly more usable, but I just cannot help stuffing so much things, or so many things in a journal that you can't close it. That's one of my little paint swatch decorations. This one has got beeswax ironed into it. It feels like a piece of fabric. Doesn't even feel like paper anymore. That's just stapled on there with a piece of sort of lacy something behind it. Another pocket. This has got one of my envelope pockets in it. There is 3 little stacked envelopes and they're just full of little bits of ephemera. Another one of those pieces that has had beeswax ironed into it. This one was not crunched up beforehand, so it's less ancient looking, but it's very interesting all the same. And that is the end of Rebecca. She has this lovely belly band that is just a piece of trim in the back, and she is full of more antique and vintage book pages. So in various languages, including Dutch, German, French, Bulgarian, I think. Yeah, there's all sorts. Italian, I'm not sure. There's a lot. Anyway, guys, that's Rebecca. She is finished. She has her name and she is beautiful and big and fat and overweight. Like too many of us. Yeah, and she just has this cute little dangle, and yeah, I love her. So she will be on my Etsy store eventually. Hopefully I will get her up there today before this video airs, so you can go over there and check her out if you'd like to. That's just Penny Rose Journals, the same as my channel. And while you're over there, check out the free digitals. There's a link in my shop bio that will send you to some free digitals if you copy and paste it into your browser. You are more than welcome to help yourself to whatever you like there. And that's it for the day. Thank you so much for coming. It's been really nice to show Rebecca to you. I know a lot of you have followed her journey, and here she is. She's all done. Time to move on to the next one. All right, guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you again next time. Bye.